Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Lee. This is JLeesCorner. This is some kind of review. I don't know which one. Y'all can see the title of what it is, okay? But first things first, like if you have not done so already, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and become a whole JayBird. JayBird. Dun 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 dun. And all that goodness and stuff. Send to yourself. Send to yourself. Okay. Do not forget that you can also like this video because it helps YouTube share it. So hit the like button, okay? You can share the video on your social media and also comment in the comment section below, okay? You can follow me on IG and on Twitter, okay? At J_Lees_Corner. If it's not on the screen somewhere, it is in the description box below. Just hit the description box and get all the information you want. Okay? Hey y'all. Okay, I know I'm late for Marriage Boot Camp. This is season 16, episode 8 and everything. My bad, y'all know it's been a lot going on, but we here. Okay, we here. I got my hair down for y'all and everything. I took out some twists, leave me alone. So we see a couple of things happen or whatever. We see Stu talking to Miss Chalet, and they're telling her how he feel like he's realizing that maybe he has been pushing her to be with him in a way that she isn't ready for, because he's realizing she's still holding on to how she was treated in her past, and she just hasn't learned how to move past all that. You know what I'm saying? And she like, sometimes it just takes me a long time to do things or whatever. And he said he understands that, he realized, this just may not be the right time for them. Even though he really wants to be with her, he was always pushing to be with her. He like, maybe I'm not even, accepting that she isn't in the same place that I'm in. And she isn't. We see Shani and CeeLo have a little conversation. Now, we know they was fussing at the end of the last episode. Not fussing, having a disagreement, okay? CeeLo was being a jerk. And they both kind of admit, because they're up in the morning, he's sitting to the counter, whatever, she cooking breakfast, and he like, you gonna do eggs this way? Well, yeah, I was. Do you want something different? Well, yeah. I'm like, why can't you tell her, baby, if you want your eggs in the side up, you scramble mine? Like, why ask her how she making hers if you don't, because how she making hers don't matter if you want yours different. I'm like, he just on my nerves. But they're kind of acting like, okay, it's no big deal, but they both can also say how when they had disagreements and everything, how they would just kind of move past it. They really won't address it. They won't, deep dive back into the bullshit of it, or they just kind of, push it up under the rug and move past it. And you can tell that is because, as CeeLo keeps saying, I don't want to argue. It's CeeLo, and because Shani is kind of acceptive of how he is and she know how he move, she just moves along with him. And I'm like, no girl, have that conversation. But I digress. Okay, they need to just address shit head on. Now Jocelyn is still talking to Ballistic up in her room, and of course she's still emotional because her baby, she had to give up custody. Again, it's temporary, and Ballistic is reminding her, this isn't your fault, it's just temporary, it's gonna be okay. Now this is my thing. It is a bit Jocelyn's fault. I'm not saying it's her fault that Stevie went to court and got. I ain't saying that's her fault, but I feel like both Jocelyn and Stevie both played a role in the demise of their co-parenting. They both played a role. They both was fucking with each other in one way or the other because they were just used to doing that. So Jocelyn isn't innocent in this, but she's also not guilty. It's like she just has to also be aware, me and my baby daddy not on good terms because of both of us. It's like 60-40. 60% Stevie, 40% Jocelyn, or even sometimes 70-30. It's more Stevie, but we not gonna act like it's not at all her fault. I can't do that. So we then see Dr. H talk to Michelle for a little bit, because he can see how, she still is not letting her past go, okay? And she's not moving past her past relationships to get to a point to where she can be good with Stu. Because she isn't. And it's kind of crazy. So she brings up how, like in the past, I'd be waking up at the house of my own house. And I would have to wake up side chicks out the bed. Like, it would be side chicks in my bed. And I would have to wake them up the following morning. And I would just, that was my life or whatever. And I was getting beat back then. And I just let it was what it was. So she was so used to just accepting anything. She's not used to someone who really wants to be with her, doesn't want to beat her. She don't know how to have an emotional connection that's honest with Stu. She brings up how because she was so used to the bad that she doesn't know how to emote real feelings, okay? And so she just kind of fakes her emotions because she don't know how to feel because she's probably scared to love, okay? So she asked Dr. H, well, is it even possible for somebody my age to learn how to love? And I'm like, oh, Miss Chalet, girl, it's so sad. But it's like at least she realized now I've been on some bullshit. I have to work through this trauma of my past. And he said, yes, but you just have to be willing to let it happen. I would have to knock down all these walls I have up, and I don't know how to do that. Well, girl, you have to learn. It starts somewhere, okay? We then see the first exercise they all do. They have them in two groups. They got half of the couples and half of the people in one room, half in the other, and they're all having to draw. Okay, they're having to draw their emotion. They got a list. They had to draw 2 sad memories and 1 happy memory, and they're going to be drawn using tattoo equipment and everything. And so they kind of put them in 2 different rooms to do this because it can help them express some inner feelings of things they went through as a child that can affect them now even as adults. Okay, Ajra goes first. She says for her drawing was about a family member who, when she was around between 5 or 7 years old, who would molest her. And he would also take photos of her. And so, of course, she felt like, people should protect her. But she also drew a picture of her father, who she said was a strong person, protective or whatever. And he was a great man. And she's like, my, Styles P reminds her of her dad by how protective of her he is. Now, Styles drew a picture as well about him being beaten up as a kid by his stepfather. I mean, beat, with extension cords, beat, not like his little weapon. No, he was beat as a kid by the stepfather. He said so it kind of made him how he is today, to where he has a small circle. He doesn't trust that many people. He does not let that many people in, and it's why he's so tough, because he had to go through so much bullshit as a kid. We do see CeeLo brings up how CeeLo. I don't be knowing if CeeLo shit be real or fake. If CeeLo stuff is on some celestial plane with some spiritual guides, with some sage, and some, I don't know, Lenny Kravitz music. It's weird. He said his memory was about a kid who spit on him as a kid, and he said he felt like, he said he had friends. He said, but when the one kid spit on his chest, I felt like it was racist. Okay? And it made me never want to feel that way again. I'm like, feel what? Like, were you angry? Were you sad? Did you feel disrespected? Like, what? I was confused. I was just confused. He then brings up how I'm a Gemini, okay, and I've always had to deal with these 2 sides, and I had to deal with, Jimmy John and Terry Lewis, making up names of these 2 sides, okay, and I've always had to deal with this my whole life, and I know I'm, a hard person to deal with or whatever, and I know, that I've also been difficult, and I push Shawnee away, and I feel like, if she loves me despite all of that, I'm a lucky person. I'm blessed. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, CeeLo? I just don't get it. He did mention also how he does have trouble feeling worthy and appreciating things. I can't tell because you feel like you deserve it all, but I'm gonna leave it alone. The fuck. Okay. Shawnee brings up when she was 4, her sister, who was 7 weeks old, passed away, and she said from that moment on, her mom was a little less present after that. So she was always looking out for her mom and is mom coming home? So she was always just again looking out. And Dr. Itch brings up you look out for CeeLo, you're always trying to protect him and make sure that he's okay, just like you did for your mom. And she was like, well, I guess so. She did. Okay. Miss Chalet, brings up as a kid. Her good memory was this house that they lived in because it was where they got a stereo and where she first learned to love music. She said because for her happy memories has always been with music. So even if something bad was happening, she could combat it with music that would make her, it wasn't that bad. She then said I'm not going to do words, even if her mom was getting beat, she would cut music on, and then to her things would be okay. I'm like, well, goddamn it, okay. And she then said, well, I don't cry anymore about that because my mom is dead and I don't get beat anymore, so I don't even cry about that anymore. I said, well, okay, Miss Chalet. Stu brings up how his dad was a drug addict, who shared dirty needles, and he ended up contracting HIV/AIDS, and then he was getting treatment and everything. He missed the treatment, and so the facility sent it feels weird on me. Someone sent like a nurse or whatever to his house because he had missed like a treatment or two, and he was dead. The father had been dead for 9 days, and they didn't find him because he was on drugs or whatever. And he said he brings up how because he had been dead for 9 days, his body had decomposed, so he didn't have like a official goodbye. It was just a casket that was closed, and he felt like he never had that closure to be able to see his dad one last time to say a proper goodbye. And that's hard. Like that's the one reason why before my dad passed away, he had all for years, for my whole life, I can remember, he always wanted to be cremated. And it wasn't until the year before he passed away that he told my mom, okay, you can have a service. Because I think for me, too, it would have been hard not being able to have that moment of closure, seeing him in the casket and being able to say goodbye. So I can only imagine how hard it was for Stu to not be able to have that. But sometimes when that happens, you have to take something, some memento or some piece of something that reminds you of that person, and have that you can say goodbye to that. That's just my suggestion. He then tried to make like a joke, and Dr. Ish like, you know what? Sometimes a lot of people will tell jokes or try to make things funny to avoid whatever emotion that is coming their way. You don't have to do that, because he feel like Stu jokes about stuff that's inappropriate sometimes because he doesn't want to feel that emotion. And I'm like, it was cool to see Stu hear Dr. Ish and not talk back and accept that. That was good too. Options brought up how he wanted to play football, how he was a track player, and he messed up his knee or his legs. He ended up having to have surgery and stuff, and then his career was ruined, so his whole life changed, and that affected him. Bianca brings up how she has trust issues because her mom would leave her with whoever and whenever, and the people she left her with would abuse her, like smack her around or whatever, and so that's the reason why she's so, saying, well, how she is now, okay. How she don't trust people now. Jocelyn brought up how she was 13, getting molested. She ended up having a drug problem. She grew up around pimps and hoes, and how she learned from them that everything is a transaction. Like, you give me this, I give you that, and that's how she's always lived her life. And she says she's just not realizing that she does not have to make everything a transaction. And Dr. Ish mentioned, give me how you, want Ballistic to marry you within 8 months because, you love him. Like, it's like, okay, I'm giving you love. You should give me marriage, even if y'all not ready for that. Because they ain't ready. They ain't ready at all. And she realized, oh, well, damn, that is what I be doing. And she said she also realized how she has to learn that she does not have to use sex as, her first thing to get people to notice her or whatever. I like Jocelyn on this show. Usually she gets on my nerves, but it's usually that extra real out about it. I need attention Jocelyn that gets on my nerves. Like, I don't matter if she's at like a 7. When she's on like a 10, it's 10 too much. And then Ballistic brings up how when he was around 11 or 12 that he found his grandmother who had a stroke, and then she ended up dying a few days later. So it was emotional. But yeah, they all had that, moment, and they all, felt it in one way or other. So let's see where it goes from here. Okay. So there's an idle chit chat. We see Options and Bianca talking, but they always talking the same way, real close, not saying much, and trying to decide, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? We don't know. But we also don't care because we don't know. But it's like, whatever. They get to the second parts of the like challenge, not the challenge, girl, the exercise or whatever. So we see how every season they always do this. They have the people admit to things they went through in life, and then they have kids come to reenact what they just talked about, okay? And it's always a little bit sad and everything. So the tattoos they did earlier in the day has now been, tattooed onto these children. Not tattoos for real, little stickies or whatever. It's also thundering outside. So if y'all see stuff, it's the lightning, okay? We having a whole storm here. I'm trying to finish things so I can go to bed. Anyway, so let's see. For CeeLo, the kid came out and felt like nobody would ever laugh at him again for being different. So he was saying how CeeLo felt as a kid, the kids spit on him, and because they thought he was different, and so they was messing with him and kind of teasing him and hazing him. So he would show people that he's extremely different, and no one could ever tease him about how different he is. Shani, has control issues because she does not want to feel any kind of pain or sadness or whatever. So if she's in control and things are in order because she's controlling it, she won't have these feelings that she does not want to deal with. Okay. Johnson as a kid comes out who says, I'm going to manipulate people and use my body to get money because of who raised me, okay, because everything is a transaction. I'm like, okay, little Johnson. Ballistic as a kid comes out just being angry, after his grandmother passed away. He did not have anyone explain to him, you can talk to us if you want to. So he always felt like he didn't have anyone to talk to. So for they like, you know what? I don't need to talk to anybody, whatever. Life isn't fair. And I'm going to go out here in these streets and make this money, whatever, and do whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's, kind of sad. So Bianca as a kid was just angry with attitude because she felt like no one loved her and she just wants someone to love her, just her. We know Options loves her and whoever else. And whoever else. And I'm like, Options feel like he was a star regardless, okay? And girls don't like him because, again, he broke his ankle with calf or whatever he broke, and he could no longer be a famous NFL star. I was like, I guess so. Styles P kid comes out and how he's tough. I'm very tough. I'm gonna sell drugs. I'm gonna make money because I have to, fend for myself. And all I know around me is people sell drugs to make money, and I need to make money for myself because no one else is going to protect me. Like I'm gonna protect myself. And so he also kind of closed himself off to the people because he never wants to be a victim again because again his stepfather beat him. Aja was a little kid, was saying how she wanted to get escape from the house because the house she was in had the man molest her. So she wanted to get out the house with the evil man, okay? And so, she would never be a victim again and everything. How, she gonna have new friends and your friends might not be good friends, but they may get you in trouble. No, they won't. And if they do, if I go to jail, that's better than being in the house, around that monster, anything to protect me from that devil. So again, how she was going from one bad situation to be the next, because if you went from the house of horrors to prison, that ain't good. That ain't good at all, okay? They they show Stu as a kid saying how he just wished he could talk to his dad again because of course his dad passed away, and how they didn't say where his mother was, but they did say how his grandmother was beaten by his grandfather before the grandmother passed away. I said, that's a lot. And then of course Michelle saying how what did my mom, the kid was saying how Michelle was kind of blaming her mother for being beaten, saying, was not him that's bad, like what is she doing for him to beat her? And so for her, she felt like, okay, you shouldn't give a man a reason to beat you, but if he do, you have to just survive and keep your head down or whatever and stay out of trouble. And I'm like, that is a crazy thing to say. So she did bring up, Michelle did say how, if I had knew better and asked for advice when I was younger, I could have saved myself 4 years of torture. Yes, you could have, okay? You could have. We then find out how Stu, because they bring up how Stu again uses humor to avoid, certain issues or whatever. He brings up, well, yeah, but when I was younger, people don't know I've been through a lot. I just don't say much about it, but he said in one summer, I buried 30 friends in one summer. Okay, like I've also been beaten up and kidnapped and held hostage and everything, you know what I'm saying? But people don't know this. I got bruises all over my body that people will never see, even in the back of my head. I'm looking like, Stu, you gangster? I was like, wow, okay, Hey, Stu. Anyway, he said how he felt. He was happy to know that this is him himself, and when he was younger, how he didn't like go crazy, how he didn't do drugs, how he didn't want to try to kill himself. So he feels like he is happy where he is now because he has overcome a lot, and it could have been way worse. It sure could have. Now we do see Judge Holder comes out, and she just brings up how, you know what I'm saying, is day 8, everybody doing well. And that she just hopes they all leave there with some type of redefined version or better versions of themselves, whether they leave there as a couple or as a single, okay? And tomorrow is lie detector test day, and she hopes they all ask a good question. Like, don't waste that question on some bullshit. And that's kind of how the episode goes off. We do see, the ladies kind of talking to how they did not realize what the other ones had went through, because again, when they wrote out their stuff earlier doing them tattoos, some of them were in different rooms. So like they, Shawnee, I think maybe Shawnee and Ajua didn't know what Johnson had been through, or vice versa. Something like that. We do see Stu and Michelle A talking, and she said, how, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. And he feel like, I shouldn't even came to this motherfucker. I don't even know what I came here for. Like, it's made things worse. And this is crazy. It was an emotional day. Okay, it was very much an emotional day. It was team a whole lot. Okay, team a whole lot. But I'm thinking next week should be better. Bianca and Options was not fussing, but it's chit-chatting. Because he kept asking her what her question was going to be. And he think that she should ask him if he was faithful. And I'm like, that's a dumbass question, because she know you haven't been. Okay? And she said she wants to know, like, if he's with old girl. I think, girl, leave that boy alone. Leave that boy alone. I am 38 years old. Bianca, leave that boy alone. Grow up, move on, move past it. Well, now she's pregnant with his baby. So, he gonna be in her life forever. But y'all don't have to be in a relationship. Okay? Anyway, that was basically the whole episode. So, I will talk to y'all next week. Honey and stuff. Peace.